Okay, so you want to make a game. You always have. And you know what you want to make. There's this idea that has been nagging at you for ages. And it just won't go away. It's a good idea too. And you think it can make you millions. Well, I'm here to tell you that no, it can't. At least not initially. Your idea could be a number of things. It could be an FPS mixed with a snowboarding game, or a Sims clone but everyone is an insect, or a racing game but on the surface of Mars, or whatever really. I'm just spitballing here. The point is, you have an idea, a really cool and unique one. I'm going to break your heart though and tell you, wait, just wait. You have to gain experience and development know-how before you attempt that ultimate indie idea of yours. Take this example. If you get into a mechanic work, you don't start by replacing a turbo on a car. You start by replacing an oil filter or a windshield wiper. You have to build up experience and knowledge to get to working on the complex stuff. And game development is no different. Why would it be? I'm speaking from experience here. You know what my first commercially released game was? A multiplayer FPS set in World War I, set to battle it out against Battlefield and Call of Duty. You know what happened? Nobody played it. You know why? Because it wasn't good at all. Now look, I'm not saying I wasted my time or passion on that project, because I did learn a lot from it and gained a lot of knowledge. But what I am saying is that I definitely could have spent that time better working on something realistic. And yes, I did have fun, and me and my friends played it a lot. And it was awesome seeing something I made being enjoyed by them. Now maybe that's enough for some people, and if you feel like it's enough for you, then this video isn't for you. The harsh truth is though, that it wasn't enough for me, and I want you to learn from my mistakes. Even if I attempt to make that game now, 5 years later, it wouldn't be good, because it's not realistic. No one person should make such a scoped game. So, why was it not realistic? Well, for a number of reasons. Firstly, FPS games are pretty hard to make, and they can take a really long time to program completely. You also need to account for a massive amount of quality assurance and testing time with such a game. Secondly, it was a multiplayer shooter. Do not do this. I cannot stress that enough. Hell, don't just not do it for your first game. Don't do it ever. It's so much work and it takes so much time. Choose something else. Trust me on this. Of course, if you have a massive team, you could consider this, but believe me, you do not want to make a multiplayer game. Not unless you have nearly limitless time, experience, and money. Thirdly, I overscoped in terms of features and assets. The game had way too much planned, and I delivered way too much. That sounds silly, but it's true. I didn't limit my output on the project, even when I knew it wasn't profitable. I won't get into it too much here, but I added way too many levels, guns, features, and audio effects. Avoid doing too much. It's better to keep things simple, especially in the beginning. Lastly, I offered long-term support when I shouldn't have. I supported the game with patches and updates for nearly a year, after it had long since lost any form of profitability. Sometimes it's better to just cut your losses. So, those are the reasons why my first title was a stupid project to take on, and why it wasn't successful. And why yours probably also won't be if you are too ambitious. Now look, there are exceptions to this rule, but those are very far and few in between. And you should never plan for luck. Look at Thomas Brush, for example. It might seem like he made Neversong and instantly got famous and a massive player base, and he got lucky. This just isn't true though. Before Neversong, he made Flash games and learned his trade through years of hard work and dedicated study. It isn't as easy as making a game and becoming wealthy and happy, just like that. That just isn't realistic. I'm not saying you shouldn't try. I'm just saying plan for the worst. So, now you know what not to do. So, what should you do? Well, that's really simple. Keep it small. Choose a genre you like and think of an audience that will play a game in that genre. Make the game for the person that came into your head when I said that. What short little $2 or $3 game idea will someone buy and play and finish in an afternoon and then be happy with the purchase? Think of that idea and then make that game, short and sweet. Your first game should be cheap, no more than $5, assuming you've kept it short, as I've said. If you are willing and able to make it free, that would be even better. More on that in a second. The first few projects in your portfolio as a designer and creator should not be anything massive if you are planning for a career in indie, as mentioned. The thing is, even short ideas get scope creeped and become bloated. If you can avoid this, you'll be on your way. Think of these titles as portfolio pieces. If you were a publisher and a guy came to you with a great idea but no past examples or experience, you'd probably not be willing to give him any money, if we're being honest. So, create those short games. And by the time you are ready for a publisher in the future, you'll have a portfolio and a much better chance to actually make that dream game. If you can afford to, think of your first ideas in design as experience gaining projects and not in terms of profitability. Hell, if you can release it for free, that would be even better, because it'll cause people to get to know you and your studio as a creator, and you'll start making a name for yourself. Then, when you are ready to release a quote-unquote real project, you'll already have a small fan base ready to give you that initial boost. This is something I can talk about for ages, because I know what I wish I'd have done when I was starting out. But the video has to come to an end at some point. So, to summarize, keep your games short and fun. Don't overscope your projects, especially when starting out. Try to avoid hard-to-make genres like multiplayer shooters. Use your first few projects as a springboard for your future studio or career. Keep them cheap if you can. If you can make them free, that's even better. And lastly, don't give up. You'll face many ups and downs with video game development. There will be good times and bad times, and sometimes you won't want to continue. But if you want to make it as an indie developer, you'll have to continue. One thing that successful developers have in common is that they never quit, even when they wanted to. And that's why I think you should listen to me on this, because I'm not successful. Not yet anyway, but I believe I will be, and I'll keep going until I am. I think this makes my advice valuable, because even though I haven't gotten to where I'm going yet, I will forever continue until I get there. Life is too short to do the things you don't want to do. Do what makes you happy, regardless of the outcome. Of course, there's no guarantee you'll ever be successful, but if making games makes you happy, you owe it to yourself to try. I'm getting off topic though, so let me end on that. I'm not telling you to not make a game you want to make as your initial first project. I'm just saying keep that really special one in the chamber for when you know you are ready. Okay, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you are enjoying the content that I'm making. Like and subscribe to hear more from me as I continue my indie journey. Until next time, keep working.